Hello the internet, my name is Laura, welcome back to my channel. Can you notice something different? You actually might not be able to, but I recently got a new little fob that plugs into my iPhone and gives me more storage, and it also allows me to video directly to the fob. So like it has its own video app. I don't know if it's any different than the one that's normally on the iPhone, but right now you are being ported directly into the fob, which is right over here. I have no idea how it's going to turn out. I don't know if the video quality is going to be any better. I would assume not. It's the same camera. But I have had problems in the past where if I have like all of my music and my podcasts and my pictures on my phone, I can only tape for about 10 minutes at a time. And so for some of the longer videos, especially when I go to greenhouses, especially when I'm away from my computer, when I'm at home, I can just go upstairs, pull the videos that I shot off, and then come down and restart. When I'm away, like at greenhouses and stuff like that, I basically have just this short limited amount of time. And now I no longer have that because I have a fob. And I'm very grateful for that fob, and you will probably never hear about the fob again, because it's really just going to kind of work in the background and be whatever. But I'm super excited about it, and it also means that I'm no longer as nervous, because I literally was nervous about running out of time before, and so now I feel like I can just kind of slow down. I've got 256 gigs on that tiny little fob, and so I probably have enough space that I could just sit here, and you guys should just watch me for, do nothing for like 2 hours. I don't know. Not that you would want to watch me do nothing for 2 hours, but you could. I could tape it all in one contiguous video. Okay, enough about that. So I got tagged in a plant YouTuber tag, which I absolutely adore. I love answering questions. It's a lot of fun. I also like lists. I don't know if this is a thing that has come up yet, but I really like lists. So this hits like two of the things that I really, really like, which is answering questions and lists. And it involves plants, so three things, really. I mean, like, does it get any better than that? Not really. Okay, so I'm going to jump right into this with question number one. What is your favorite genus? I definitely would have said that my favorite genus was Alocasia for a really long time, and I really do still like Alocasia, but I have super been getting into the begonias. As you know, my most recent videos and all that kind of, like, I picked up a lot of begonias. And I am super happy with them. They seem to grow really well. I'm having a little bit of trouble with some of the Alocasias. However, I have at least, now that we're into warmer weather and my heater isn't working quite so hard, what is that called? My humidity monitor has been regularly showing around 50% humidity, which is really good for those plants that need it. I haven't seen much of a difference yet. I'm hoping that some of my Alocasias will grow a little better with the higher humidity. My purple sword was having a little bit of trouble. I really got off on a tangent. I don't care. I have time. My purple sword was having a little bit of trouble. It only has 2 leaves on each plant now, and I'm hoping that maybe the higher humidity will mean that it can develop more leaves without dropping the older ones. I don't know. We're going to see. So that's really exciting. But the begonias have been doing really well. I've been doing some propagation of the begonias as well, and I'm going to have a video on, I showed you the ones that I had in my little glass dome, my little terrarium, and I am going to be showing that off so that you guys can see how it's done. They're not quite big enough for me to plant them elsewhere yet, but I mean, they're growing really well in there. I haven't had to water it. I'm super fan of not having to water things. super fan of not having to water things. This is why I like succulents so much. I don't know. Okay, that was question number 1 with a tangent. It's great. What is your least favorite genus? I'm not sure how I feel about that question because, like, I mean, I have plants that I'm not really all that attracted to, but, like, I don't really like Hoyas all that much, but it's not like I wouldn't get a Hoya. And I'm not really a fan of ever getting aeroids because even though they're pretty awesome, I just, too expensive, too much trouble to care for and all that kind of stuff, like, but that doesn't mean I don't like them. It just means that I probably wouldn't pick them up. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if you really need an answer, then I guess I don't like aeroids, but it's not that I don't like aeroids. I like them, they're beautiful, I just don't want to have to take care of them. I like seeing other people have them, and I think they're beautiful. So that's question number 2, so that was nice and short. Which genus intimidates you? I guess that is kind of the aeroids a little bit, because it's like, I feel like it's a hassle to take care of them, and they need so much humidity and blah, 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 like that. Oh, also the Calatheas. Calatheas definitely intimidate me because I am not a fan of the brown leaves, and so I don't like the idea of, like, if I don't do it correctly, then I'm going to have these brown leaves forever. It's actually one of the other things that I really like about succulents is that the way most succulents grow, not all of them, but the way most succulents grow is they grow out from the center, and then the older leaves eventually, like, fall off and, like, go away. And so if you get damaged leaves, eventually the damaged leaves go away. I actually kind of like alocasias for the same reason. You know, but things like philodendron, and even begonias, you know, if you get damage on the leaves, those leaves are basically there, you know, forever. I mean, unless you cut the plant and then, like, repropagate it and start over, which is probably something I will do if there are super ugly leaves on my plants, but that's just kind of how that goes. So, what question was I on? No, that was still on genus that intimidates you. I love this. It's wonderful. I love answering these questions. Okay, number 4. If you were a houseplant, which one would you be? I don't know. I don't really look like a houseplant. I probably would be the type of houseplant. I'd be like a succulent or something like that, where you can kind of, like, give me a little bit of attention and then just kind of let me sit there in the sun and grow for a while. I don't really mind, you know, as long as you come and look at me every day and admire my colors. You don't have to, like, do anything to take care of me, really. I'm very self-sufficient. Oh man, that's actually a pretty good answer. Oh yeah, I'm pretty cool. Okay. Is there a houseplant you disliked after purchasing? Is there a houseplant you disliked after purchasing? I'm going to have to look around. I'm probably going to cut some of this away. Let's see. Okay. So actually, yes. This little cordyline here, though it wasn't immediately after purchasing, it just, like, it kind of, I got it and it was really beautiful and I loved it with the pink on the leaves. And then at a certain point, it kind of started, the leaves started crisping, which I thought was a humidity issue. So I put it closer to the humidifier and all that kind of stuff. And it has just kind of declined and declined and declined. So it really wasn't like an immediately after thing where I, like, regretted it, but now at this point it's kind of like I'm letting it survive until I can get it outside, and then hopefully, like, with the sun and the wind and the rain, it might start doing better. If not, I'm probably going to end up cutting it back and just going with it again. I have definitely like, as much as I just kind of go and buy plants, and like it seems like I have a lot of them, for the most part, I get plants that I really enjoy. And so for the most part, all the plants that I've brought home, I still really enjoy. Some of them are a little more annoying to take care of than others. But yeah, I'm not really seeing any that I'm regretful of having. Now, there are definitely ones where, like, I've gotten succulent arrangements, and so there's a whole bunch of succulents in there, and like some of those I don't really like, but I didn't buy those individually. I just kind of got them because I got the whole thing. You know, and I don't really kind of care whether they live or die, really, because, you know, I didn't get them in specific, but I don't know. That might count as an answer. I don't know. Where am I? What's your favorite method of propagation? I have an answer for this one for sure. I love sphagnum moss propagation. And do you want to know why? Because it freaking stays wet and I don't have to worry about it. And I like it even more than straight up water propagation because, like, the water evaporates and then you got to keep refilling it and you got to like it gets dirty and then you dump it out and that's work. Sphagnum moss, you know, it has to be in some sort of terrarium or else it does evaporate basically the same, faster than water really. But that begonia terrarium, I mean, I open it every once in a while to look at it and to kind of get some air circulation in there, but it's just been chilling. And then I don't have to worry about, oh, did I water it enough? Oh, it's gone dry, now the roots are gonna die, blah, blah, blah. And I have had very little success with soil propagation. I think for the same reason, because I don't keep it wet enough. I have managed to, the peperomia graveolens, if you've seen those videos, I was much happier with soil propagation on those than I was on water propagation. They grew roots about the same time as the water propagation, but then you didn't have to have didn't have to transfer it into soil, because I had one that did like really rough when I transferred it into soil. It ended up living. I thought it was going to die, but so it might be the succulent type plants. I might be okay with soil propagation on them, but anything else where it needs to like stay moist, because like I tried my Sansevieria in soil propagation and it basically did nothing, and I tried the begonias in soil propagation and they rotted. And I have the Sansevieria is actually in water propagation right now, but the begonias are in sphagnum moss and they're doing great. So I love sphagnum moss. I guess maybe that counts as water propagation as opposed to soil propagation, but I think it matters what type of plant you're trying to propagate. So what is your favorite plant activity? I would have to say that my favorite plant activity is actually cleaning leaves, because in the grand scheme of keeping them alive, it's not necessarily something that you have to do in order to keep them alive. I mean, it helps, yes. But I'm more easily able to convince myself that I'm just relaxing and like chilling with the plant, you know. I'm just cleaning the leaves and I'm taking care of them, and it's very relaxing, as opposed to when I'm watering, it's like I have to keep this plant alive, you know, like that kind of thing. Since I'm an underwaterer, that's mostly like, some people show their love for their plants by watering them, and I'm just like, no, you need water to live. I have to give you water now. But the cleaning of the leaves is really just kind of, it's just a relaxing thing. I also like taking pictures of plants, and I really need to get back on my Instagram. I've been kind of like going on and off the Instagram, but I love taking pictures. So, and again, that's not a I have to keep you alive thing. That's a I'm sitting here and enjoying you. taking pictures of you so that I may stare at you when I am on my computer. So those would probably be my favorite plant activities. Boop, 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 ba-doo. Have you ever gone overboard with purchasing plants? According to my husband, I have. I myself don't think I really ever have. And I guess it's possible that part of the reason for that was that I didn't have a ton of money to spend, and possibly I would have gone over had I had more money. But I think I'm fairly good at like limiting myself in my budget. Like when I went to the nurseries in Richmond, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want this plant, and this plant, and this plant, and this plant. And I was like, no. And I myself was like, okay, no, I'm going to get these plants because these are the ones that I really would like. And then we found the other nursery, which I wasn't planning on going to, and I was like, okay, well, I have to get what I get. I got the Pied Piper begonia and the black cardinal because I had to get those. And there were other plants there that I wanted, and I ended up not getting them. The silver flame, I'm definitely regretful of not getting that silver flame sansevieria, but it was $15, and that was like, yeah. I definitely, if I saw it again, I'd probably just go ahead and buy it, because now I know, like now I've seen it and passed on it and been like, oh man, I wish I hadn't, so now I would probably go ahead and buy it. But I don't think I've ever gone overboard. I think maybe if I had bought that sansevieria at that point, that would have been a little overboard, just because I had spent so much money already that weekend. But yeah, no, I'm not fairly responsible with my money. I'm fairly responsible. I'd like to think I'm fairly responsible with my money. Have you been swayed by social media pressures? Probably. There have definitely been times when I've watched... Alright, so I got into the plant community because I was going through a bit of a rough time in my life. And I could get on... Literally, the first videos that I ever went and searched for were Shop With Me's. And I got on, and I would just watch people go out and just, do a shop with me, go through and show all the plants and show the ones that they got and like all that kind of stuff. And I would just like sit there and watch those and watch those and watch those. And that's when I started getting into plants, like buying them for myself. And so I was definitely pressured, social media pressured into going out to my big box stores and seeing if there were plants there that I liked and then buying them. I don't think I've ever been pressured into buying a plant that I don't actually like. Like there's the whole bunch of the really popular plants that are like way expensive or whatever. I think the closest I ever came was I saw a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma at a nursery, and I was like, oh, I should get that because everybody thinks they're so cool. But I'm not big into the just green leaves, even though they have the fenestrations and the interesting shape. I'm just not super big into just green leaves, and so I ended up passing on it, and I was not regretful at all that I passed on it. I think the most popular plant that I have is actually the begonia maculata whitey eye, and I found that, but it had come down considerably in price because it was one of the trending tropical things, and I was like, I like begonias, and I think this plant is pretty. It wasn't, I guess there was a little bit of oh my gosh, I might not see this again in there, but it was a beautiful plant, and it was a reasonable price by that point. I wasn't spending a whole bunch online and all that kind of thing. And I do still want a Thai constellation because that does have color on the leaves. But I've heard that Costa Farms is like mass producing those the same way that they did the trending tropicals. And so I'm going to wait until that happens. And then, find a place that has it, or have my family pick me up one because they live in a place where they might actually ever see the trending tropicals things. And, then I'll have one, and I'll have one at a decent price. It'll be like 20, 25 bucks. I don't know. As opposed to 200. I'm pretty happy with Costa Farms doing that, truthfully, because it was kind of like, I think Kaylee Ellen got asked, what do you feel about the Spiritus Sancti getting tissue culture? Like, somebody's doing that. And she didn't answer, but like, my response to that is, I'm perfectly fine with it. I don't enjoy a plant based on its rarity, and whether I enjoy having plants that other people don't have, and they look at it and they're like, oh, that's so cool, or blah, blah, blah. But I'm almost more impressed with when you have a plant and you've had it for long enough that it's like, amazing. Like, that impresses me far more than, oh, you have this super rare plant. Now, if you have this super rare plant and you've taken really good care of it and it's gotten absolutely huge, then, then I am also equally impressed. But I'm not, impressed by just the fact that it's a rare plant. So I think if there's more Spiritus Sancti out there, great, people can have them. If there's more Thai constellations out there, great, that means people can have them, I don't know. That's my 2 cents on that kind of thing. So I've ever been swayed by social media, but I definitely haven't ever gotten a plant that I didn't like because people are like, oh my gosh, it's so rare, or oh my gosh, it's so beautiful, or whatever. There have been plants that I've seen people talk about, and I'm like, oh, I ended up liking that, like my Prince of Orange. I didn't really like it at the beginning, and then the more I saw it, I was like, no, that really is gorgeous. And then my little Rick Rack cactus, which is back here, it's just so cute with its little, and that was just one that I had seen enough that I was like, I would really like to get that one. So, there you go. Number 10. What is a plant you think deserves more spotlight on social media? I don't know if I really have anything. Truthfully, I'm really actually surprised that Rex begonias are not more popular than they are. But I think part of that is because they're so common that, for the people who really are like collecting in social media, because like Plant Me Ashley has a whole bunch of really rare begonias that she likes. She just did that video on that was really cool. So she's kind of into begonias, but then at the same time, I know she's got some common ones, and she like didn't show those off. And it's probably because, people are just not interested in seeing them. They're common, they can go into a store and see them, I guess. But at the same time, I just love them so much because I don't like plain green leaves. I like the color. And they're fairly easy to grow, and they're cheap, like these are all the things I like. And I think it really kind of depends on what you're going for with your plants. Some people, and I absolutely understand, some people really love that, going out there and collecting and getting the rare thing that other people don't have, because it's just, get a certain satisfaction from that, and then growing it and keeping it alive and all that kind of stuff. And that's just not me. I'm way too lazy for that. I could, I don't need to be buying a $200 plant and then forgetting about it and having it die because I didn't water it. If my begonia Pied Piper ends up dying, it's like, oh, it might be a little hard to find another one, but it's not going to break the bank, And so, sure, Rex begonias could have a little bit more. A little bit more people liking them, but I'm okay if they don't. It means I've got my little niche. I can be like, look at my beautiful begonia. I know I haven't showed you oh, you reminded me. I was gonna say I haven't shown you guys my begonia breakdance in a really long time. Like, I know that you're totally having withdrawal from the I'm making a really big face. That's going to be my picture for this. So, I don't know if you can see it. This is the big, it's gotten bigger since, but they're little white flowers with tiny little pink specks on them. I wonder if I can get it closer that you can actually see it. I might have to take a picture. So cute. Love this plant. Yeah, the leaves, like, God, I love this plant. I know. But anyway, it's flowering and I'm ever so happy. So I will definitely show some more pictures of that as that develops. But anyway, I know you guys think I'm funny. All right, so that is all of the questions. I am technically supposed to, at this point, like, tag other people in this plant YouTuber tag. But unfortunately, like, the one plant YouTuber that I'm actually friends with, like, that I talk to a lot, is the one who tagged me, Planting Memories. So I can't really tag him back. I mean, yeah, I don't think that's how that works. I feel like I'm going to have to somehow get some more planty YouTuber friends, so that I can actually tag people. Because I love getting them, and then I don't have anybody to tag, and so it just kind of ends with me. But such is life right now. I'm just doing this because I enjoy it. And, if more people end up wanting to hang out and be friends, that's cool. And if they don't, then that's also cool. I've got plants. No, I've actually been making some nice friends. Like people commenting, they're just not also YouTubers, so it's actually been a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying this thing, and yeah, I don't have a huge channel or whatever, but I'm really happy with where I am, and I did at one point try and decide whether I wanted to keep doing this because I wasn't getting any more very fast subscribers and all this kind of stuff, and I was like, I'm going to keep doing the plant stuff. And it's really not, for me, that much effort to do a video and post it up, or edit it and all that kind of stuff and post it up. Mostly because I had experience with editing video before I ever did this. And so it's just really kind of an easy thing for me to do. And so if I stick it 35 subscribers forever, then, you 35 people, it's us and us all together, and it can just be us for however long. As long as you guys keep enjoying the videos, I'm going to keep putting them out, so. But anyway, so if you like this video, if you're one of the 35 and you like this video, go ahead and like this video. If you're a new person and you think that you'd like to stick around, go ahead and subscribe. And thank you so much for deciding to spend some of your very valuable time with me. Had a lot of fun, and I will see you in the next video. All right, bye-bye.